You talk about revelations that can be empowering to young people as they develop this safe space and have the safe space and community that you've mentioned. And as they get a chance to discover who they are often struck by God revealing something to them, which can be empowering. Without divulging confidences, can you share a story about a time when you've seen that in either a group or an individual that you've worked with?
One of the one who comes to mind, I think the other brothers, and it's generally young men because of Project Longevity, et cetera, that I've worked with. The other brothers would say that he probably is my favorite, and I think that maybe because of the more personal and intimate experience that I had, and I share with you. Now, when I met him, I knew that he was on, quote unquote, the New Haven police violent list, and that he was a danger, etc. But he, there was no convictions, there was no particular suspicions that he had ever killed anybody, etc. But was involved in the drug trading, etc. And Project New Generation and all of these phases playing out, and me learning and gleaning from it and from him. We developed a genuine kind of relationship. I think I shared today that some of them, like when Power or Empire series is on, they gather at my house and we just kind of shoot the breeze and watch and laugh and talk in this kind of way. We kind of engage, encounter, expose, and experience a sense of community. I remember him coming over to the house one day, saying, Pastor, they call me Pastor. I just want to come over and check on you and talk to you and all that kind of stuff. And then all of a sudden, I turn around and he's just weeping. Now, you would not imagine this person would be weeping and wailing and all that kind of stuff. And he shared with me that he had killed somebody. I didn't take that lightly. I was thinking in my head, oh my God, are you confessing to me or something? And and I was thinking, okay, we ain't Catholic, but okay, this confession. And he didn't tell me anything specific. He said, and I know that I have done wrong. I didn't tell him that. I didn't keep him arrive at that. I didn't tell him that what he was doing and all that kind of stuff. He began to arrive at the error of his own ways because of, I believe, because of the development of a relationship and a sense of trust and a sense of being a part of community. And he says, he didn't use these words, these are my words, to atone. He wanted to do something in order to make up for that. And I mentioned this earlier, he's one of the individuals who developed a group that brings together people who are at odds with each other out in the street world and began to try to find alternative ways in handling the problem. Not always successful.
Sure.
But that's the beginning. Yeah. And I think it all begins with us when we see us for who we are and who we can become.
Which is a very vulnerable, difficult, hard, holy thing to do.
And I think it's more than just that I kind of met them through Project Generation. When I said that he called me pastor, I think for him I am pastor. I'm shepherd. And for him to admit that to me and know that I would not think any less of him, but would be there for him to try to recreate. Now, have I been successful in him taking full ownership and responsibility? Not publicly. But I thank God for the work that he's doing that could in the future change people's lives. Is he ready for, I don't know. And that's a part of our kind of ongoing thing. He hasn't yet asked me what he should do. But what he has done, I think he knows that at least I know that that's pleasing, that's a part of the process. And it's not to please me, we are community. These are your brothers, and you are that brother.
The scripture passage that comes to mind is Jesus meeting the woman at the well, where he says, "Go, call your husband and come back." And she says, "I have no husband." He says, "You answer correctly. You've had 5, and the man you now live with is not your husband." He doesn't condemn her for that. He simply hears that. And she is allowed to be in a safe space with him, conversing with him, which is the longest conversation Jesus has in all the scriptures, to then go back to her community and say, "I have seen God in this person."
Right.
So to be able to then go back to the world and bear witness to the love, he is doing that in his work in reconciliation. It's powerful.
Right. We are creating our own testaments every day as a result of our experiences. And what I'm saying in particular for youth engagement, we have to be intentional about those experiences, pointing them into the direction of God's purpose and plan for them. And when they are old, they will not, and old is not by age, when they get past this, they will not depart from it.